Less than 3 weeks ago, the candidates crisscrossing the country, and so are many reporters, including Reese Gorman from NOTUS, up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. Reese, good to see you again.
Thanks for having me on.
You've been in the sky. You've been traveling along with the Trump campaign over the last couple of weeks. I know you were in Pennsylvania over the weekend. What's your feel on the ground right now? What's the state of play in this race?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, as cliche as it sounds, it really is just a coin toss race. It's really anybody's win within the margin of error. The Trump campaign, they're feeling very confident right now in where they stand in the race. At least they're publicly, that's what they're expressing, and privately as well, they do feel confident. And yeah, as you mentioned, I was with Vance over the weekend on Saturday. Went to Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Went to Reading, Pennsylvania. I interviewed him on the plane. Went to rallies, and the first rally, it was a little smaller venue. I'd say there's probably about 800 people there. And then the second place where we went was a town hall in Reading. I'd say there's well over 1,000 people, if not a couple thousand people there. And so, yeah, they're definitely feeling confident. Vance is definitely also, I mean, he expressed to me that the campaign's going well and that they feel like they're doing everything they can. It's going to be a push sprint to the finish. But really, a lot of this campaign comes down to Pennsylvania, which is why you're seeing so many of the candidates, Harris and Walz included, spending so much time in that Commonwealth.
And I think when you look at where you mentioned we saw the Republicans over the weekend, Johnstown, Cambria County, really a gateway to a very red part of Pennsylvania. Reading, kind of a coin flip area where it may be a little more purple. But I think in this case, are you getting the sense it's more about driving out the people, making sure your base shows up to vote on Election Day?
I think 100% too. I think that is definitely the case of getting the base out and going. I mean, Johnstown, I mean, I know you're a Pennsylvania guy, and correct me if I'm wrong. I know Johnstown was blue at one point and switched to Trump. And then, so this is not something that has been historically red, but has been red in the past. But there's a lot of people. I mean, Pennsylvania is very working class. I mean, working class voters were historically very Democratic voters. They voted blue. That started to shift, as you've seen with like some of the unions withholding endorsements because of the Democrat, which is the first time in history this has really kind of happened, or in recent history rather. And this is really an inroad that Vance, this is why Vance was chosen. He kind of comes from this working class family, and they felt like he could really appeal to these working class voters, specifically in Pennsylvania, in places like Johnstown. Or Reading, and that's kind of what you're seeing. And that's why you're seeing them there. And this is while driving out the base is a huge reason for why they want them to go. It's also just kind of appealing to these working class voters that might be undecided.
It's funny thing about Johnstown, the newspaper's the Johnstown Democrat, and a number of years ago, people were saying, should we keep the name? Nobody seems to vote Democrat here anymore. So that shows you kind of the change in sentiment. But from a broader picture, I mean, they're gonna be crisscrossing the country. Are there any areas that you have heard from the campaign or otherwise that there might be a matter of concern for, or is it just are they really running towards the finish line, thinking they're going to win the whole game no matter what?
The campaigns, I mean, obviously are focused on your swing states, right? You got North Carolina, you got Georgia, you got Arizona, you got Nevada, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. But I generally feel like Michigan and Pennsylvania are two of the biggest states that they're focusing on right now. I mean, you're seeing them spend a lot of time in Michigan and Pennsylvania, taking Trump and Vance were both in Arizona over the past. I mean, Vance was also in Wisconsin on Monday. And so they are just, I mean, they're just crisscrossing everywhere. But I mean, this is really just, it comes down to those main swing states, right? That's really all it comes down to, really comes down to those 5 states. And maybe New York. I mean, Trump's going to Madison Square Garden, so I don't know. Maybe he's trying to flip that red too. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, debatable, I guess, based on the past. But hey, I mean, we said things were going to flip in 2016, and they certainly did. J.D. Vance, after the announcement came down back in July before the RNC, a lot of people said he stumbled out of the gate. It seems like he has gained his footing as the number 2 in terms of the crowds. I mean, are they responding to him pretty well?
They definitely are. He's definitely kind of honed in on this message on his stump speech. And I think, I mean, obviously it's nerve-wracking probably being the running mate. We saw with Tim Walz as well. He had a very kind of hard rollout, and he's since really kind of taken a foot. He's really doing well now, as is Vance. And I mean, I think the other thing too is Vance has been giving so many interviews. This was something I talked to him about in my interview that we recorded over the weekend, was that Vance was giving so many interviews that there was times that he got in front of Trump on policy, whether it be the child tax credit coming out $5,000, saying that Trump would veto an abortion ban, on some Ukraine policy, and all these kind of things that he kind of like inched his way in front of Trump. And he's kind of pulling that back now. He's kind of learning to be like, I might have my views, but like, this is Trump's campaign. I'm going to stay what Trump wants. And that was something that we kind of saw at the beginning of the campaign, was him kind of getting out in front of Trump there. He's since rolled that back a little bit. And that was kind of the main kind of gist of my story that we wrote on Sunday. So I think he's definitely kind of finding his foothold here and really getting more comfortable in it.
Well, he was there. Walls was in Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium, home of the Steelers last night. A team, unfortunately, which fell to your Cowboys a couple weeks ago, but they are coached by a Pittsburgher. So there you go. Reese, always good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. Go Cowboys.
You realize our Commanders fans aren't going to like that, but I like you, so we'll let it stay. Final five. Go ahead.
I was saying, you got a Pittsburgh jab, and I got to get a little Cowboy jab.
All right. Final five is back after this.